Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Brian from USA.Patriot.Cards. And people in Dallas are starting to panic about the Mavericks. The Luka Kyrie disaster may force the Dallas Mavericks to tank. First of all, take Kyrie's name out of this. Kyrie is not the problem. Kyrie has been everything that they've hoped he would be. He's played through injury. I saw him diving 4 rows deep for a loose ball a couple games ago. He said some weird stuff. He had a weird quote the other day about they were asking him if it bothered him that the fans of Dallas were booing, and he said, "Well, if they would like to switch places, then they can see how hard it is to play NBA basketball." Which I don't necessarily think that's what booing equates. Like, we're not booing you because we think we could do better. We're booing you because we know you could do better anyway. Kyrie hasn't been the problem. The lack of an inside defensive presence has been the problem. The lack of any kind of defensive intensity has been the problem. The lack of late game play calling when we've been down by 1 or 2 points and we are taking the ball in and we have less than 10 seconds on the clock. It seems like we can't even get off a shot. Jason Kidd is a Hall of Fame basketball player, but he is proving himself to be unable to coach at this level. Now, they've touted him as a defensive coach, as a player's coach, but you've got to be able to call a play. You've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be able to change your rotation. You've got to be able to tinker and find a hot hand. I mean, Dwight Powell is not the answer at center for the Dallas Mavericks. And finally tonight, we did break our 4-game losing streak, and JaVale McGee actually got in the game. He's been DNPCD. For those of you who don't play fantasy, that's did not play coach's decision. He's been DNPCD for, I don't know, since every game since Christmas, it feels like. I don't remember seeing him on the court at all in 2023. I mean, I'm sure he's been in, but it was good to see him tonight. He's not going to be Rudy Gobert at the rim by any means, but just having somebody that is willing to contest a shot and not just go straight up and get pushed back into the baseline like Powell does every single time makes it a little harder when that offensive player on the other team blows right by our perimeter defender and goes in to score. He's got a big body to contend with, and that sometimes is all it takes. But looking at this from a hobby perspective, I do have a big Luka Doncic bag. I do have a good amount of my collection tied up into him. And that's for several reasons. I mean, he's been the most exciting player in NBA, in the NBA game and in the NBA card space for the last 4 years. He's easily the guy that most people were looking for during the boom. His silver PSA 10s got up to, I think, between 8 and 10K. So his stuff has come down a lot just because the market has corrected, or the bubble has burst. But I think we're getting to the point where his stuff might continue to go down just based on not necessarily his play, but just the outlooks that his team has and the prospects of the Mavericks, making a deep playoff run, getting to a championship type level. He's only 24. He just turned 24. Jordan didn't win his first ring until he was 27. Kobe won it early, but Kobe also had Shaq. Typically, it takes 3, 4, 5 seasons for these superstars to settle in, figure it out, get some help before they win a championship. I mean, Dirk, it was 2011 before he won his first championship, the only Mavericks championship. And he's revered probably more than any athlete that has ever played in this city. So it's not like the Maverick fans are asking Luka to hurry up and win a ring already. We just want him to show up in shape, look like you give a damn on defense, and stop creating 4-on-5 situations for your team because you're still at the other end of the court talking to the referees. He picked up his 16th technical yesterday in a horrible loss to the Charlotte Hornets and was supposed to not play tonight against the Pacers. But the league rescinded that tech. They rescinded a tech last season, much in the same way, his 16th tech. And instead of getting suspended, he went out and played and got hurt. And that's why he had to start the playoffs in that first series against the Jazz. I mean, we didn't have Luka until like game 4. Thank God we had Brunson. But, I've made Luka the highlight or the main focus of my PC. I've traded a lot of my collection into big Lukas that have become available, I think, because some of these these high-end collectors are seeing the writing on the wall. And, if they're not Dallas Maverick fans or haven't been their whole life, I mean, it's just a matter of numbers game for them. Makes sense for them to try to trade out of these big Lukas that are on their way down every time they go up for auction into smaller cards that they can, liquidate, get off of, and move on. But that's not me. I'm a collector first, and I'm damn sure not going to turn my back on him or this team yet. So when I see stuff like this, that we should be tanking. First of all, we right now would have a 3% chance at Victor Wembanyama. So that's not worth tanking. We have the 10th best odds at landing him in the league. So that means that there's 9 other teams that have a much greater chance of landing who could be a generational talent. I don't know. He's too tall and skinny to me, but I think that, and it looks like the players agree, you just got to get in. You just got to get in. Anything can happen. The NBA is a funny league. The parity is great. There's been injuries up and down in the West. John Morant, his whole thing. Paul George is out for the rest of the season out in LA. Frankly, the team that really kind of scares me the most is the Thunder. I mean, they've been playing fearless, and they've been putting teams away, and they're going to be in the play-in. So I would love, if for nothing else, a big-time matchup with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and at least just give us 1 or 2 play-in games to before we put the season to bed. If you're out there with a Luka card, I would just remind you that it depends on what you have. If you have a bigger card, I would hold it right now. If you've got some smaller stuff, some optic hollows or a silver prism, some sticker auto rookies. I mean, you can go ahead and see what those will bring, but I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get much. He's about the coldest player going as far as superstars right now. Um, I would say that you need to hold, see what the Mavericks do in the postseason, see what the Mavericks do in the off season, and then either sell as the 2023-24 season starts approaching, or hold it and see what kind of season the Mavericks look like they're going to have. See if they keep Kyrie. I mean, hopefully they do. Definitely, like I said earlier, don't think he's been the problem. So I do know that I do expect for more and more bigger Lukas to hit the market, to become available. I'm still looking for that blue ice, by the way. I know there's one on Golden that's sitting, a PSA 10 blue ice that's sitting at around 17 right now with 4 or 5 days left. But I mean, that card, it started like 2 weeks ago, that auction. So much bad stuff has happened in the past 2 weeks that I don't, if it stays at 17, I think that if it was re-auction, it might not even get back to 17. That's how bad it's been. But don't give up on Luka. Don't give up on the Mavericks. Don't give up on Kyrie. He hasn't been the problem. And let's see what the last week and a half, 2 weeks has in store. Because if we can just get in and we can sneak into the play-in, anything can happen. And then if we do get an actual series, then who knows? I mean, Luka has the ability to carry a team. So does Kyrie. And they got to the Western Conference Finals last year with Brunson and Luka. So, I mean, granted, we don't have Dorian, we don't have Dinwiddie. Those were both big players. But we got Jaden Hardy. He's playing out of his mind. And we got Kyrie and Luka. So, definitely not going to talk about tanking here in Dallas. Not yet. So, I don't think you should panic if you're holding some Luka stuff just yet. And if you're a Mavs fan, then don't you dare trade those Lukas or sell those Lukas. Hold on to those big boys. They're going to be okay. He's going to be okay. I think he's growing up a lot, and he's realizing that a lot of his displeasure is on him. So he's got to make the adjustments. And we'll see if he can, and we'll see if he does. And then if he doesn't, and he comes in next season 20 pounds overweight, still not interested in playing any defense, then it might be time to look at flipping those bad boys, but not yet. Hopefully we'll make a run here, and I'll revisit this topic in the playoffs with you guys. But until then, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.